You ever take a DNA test for fun and it ruins your entire sense of reality? Yeah, me neither. Until it did. So here's how it started. I'm sitting on my couch, eating leftover pad thai with one hand and scrolling TikTok with the other. When I get served one of those, I took a 23andMe test and found out my dad was actually my mom's high school gym teacher with videos. You know the type. Messy. Addictive. I laughed, choked a little on a peanut, and thought, wow, some people's lives are chaotic. Then I remembered the unopened DNA kit sitting in my junk drawer, next to expired batteries and IKEA screws I've been too emotionally unstable to throw out. I had bought it during a Black Friday sale after one glass of wine too many. Thinking I'd trace my roots back to Viking royalty or maybe Beyoncé. I wasn't even trying to find drama. I just wanted to know if my hatred of cilantro was genetic. So I do the thing. Spit in the tube like it owes me money. Seal it, send it off, and forget about it for weeks, until I get an email with the subject line, "Your results are in." Now, here's where things start going sideways. I click into the results, and it shows my ancestry breakdown: 40% Southern European, 30% Middle Eastern, 20% other confusing stuff, and 10% chaos. No big surprises there, except now it's offering me the chance to link with relatives who've also taken the test. Cute, right? I click on the Relatives tab and immediately get confused. At the top, under Immediate Family, it says, Daughter, Lily M. Which would be normal, except Lily is my daughter. My real, birthed her from my body child. But under that, it says, Match Strength, Weak. Like, what? Match strength? Weak? Excuse me? Is this DNA test trying to tell me I'm not biologically related to the human I literally pushed out of my uterus while screaming curse words I invented in the moment? I refreshed the page like 5 times. Same thing. My daughter is listed as a weak match, more like a niece or half-sibling. Meanwhile, some woman named Molly in South Dakota is listed as a strong parent match. Molly. Who the hell is Molly? Suddenly, my face is hot. My palms are sweating. My brain feels like it's buffering. My husband walks by and says, "You look like you just found out you're adopted by aliens." And I'm like, worse. I found out our daughter might be, not mine. He freezes. Drops his coffee. It splashes everywhere, but no one even moves to clean it because we're too busy staring at the screen like it just insulted our ancestors. Then I start spiraling. Was there a hospital mix-up? Did they swap babies? Am I raising someone else's child? I had a C-section. How do you even swap a baby during a C-section? I Google everything. I go deep. Reddit threads. Obscure medical forums. Facebook groups with names like DNA Test Nightmare Support Circle. Everyone's got a theory: lab error, hospital conspiracy, secret adoption, aliens. But none of it fits. Lily looks like me. She acts like me. She side-eyes people at Target like me. If she's not mine, then who the hell am I? I call customer service for the DNA company. They ask for my sample ID. I give it to them. They say, "Ma'am, based on your results, you are genetically unrelated to your daughter." My heart does a full backflip. Unrelated. They calmly explain that I may want to consult a geneticist. A geneticist. I hang up and scream into a pillow for 20 minutes. My husband Googles how to sue DNA companies without a lawyer. But the chaos is just beginning. Because the geneticist I end up seeing? She takes one look at my case and says, this could be a case of chimerism. And I say, what, like, astrology? She laughs. I don't. She explains, chimerism is when someone has two different sets of DNA. It's rare. It happens when two embryos, often twins, fuse in the womb and form one body. So a chimera could have one DNA type in her blood, another in her organs. Basically, it's the ultimate plot twist. I had a twin, and I absorbed her. Like, in the womb. Apparently, that twin's DNA lives on inside me, and it's possible that the eggs that became my daughter? They carry her DNA, not mine. So, technically, I'm not Lily's mother. Technically, my dead womb twin is. Cue the horror movie music. And I haven't even told my mother-in-law yet. She's already suspicious of my parenting because I let Lily watch Shrek 2 instead of Encanto. Imagine when I say, surprise. I'm not even her biological mom. Just wait for what happens next. That's when my husband's side of the family decides to get their DNA tested. And let me tell you, it gets worse. So, you'd think the logical thing to do after discovering you're your own dead twin and maybe not your child's biological mother would be to quietly process that bombshell in therapy, right? Wrong. My husband, bless his chaotic soul, decides the next step is for everyone in his family to get tested, like this is some twisted episode of Who's the Daddy? Starring an entire suburban bloodline. Cut to Sunday brunch at my in-laws. There's quiche, awkward small talk, and the looming knowledge that we're all about to swab our cheeks for science. My mother-in-law, Janice, is already 2 mimosas in and suspiciously eyeing me like I'm the kind of woman who'd sell fake purses out of her trunk. So, Janice says, smiling with her teeth but not her eyes, I hear there's been a little DNA drama. I nod. Yeah, apparently, I might be my own twin. She tilts her head. Is that like Gemini? Because I knew you gave off air sign vibes. I want to scream, but instead I sip my coffee aggressively. My husband hands out the DNA kits like party favors. Janice says, this feels invasive, but swabs anyway because her desire for gossip outweighs her boundaries. 3 weeks later, the results roll in like biblical plagues. And friends, it gets weird. Fast. First, we find out my husband is 8% Scandinavian, which explains absolutely nothing and leads to him insisting we buy a sauna. Then we get to his dad's profile, and the entire family freezes. Because his dad, Robert, is listed as his close relative, but not his biological father. The room goes silent. The kind of silent you feel in your bones. Janice squints at the screen. That can't be right. Robert stares like someone just accused him of being made of tofu. My husband whispers, am I a mailman baby? I try to stay out of it. Really, I do. But Janice suddenly snaps her head toward me like I personally orchestrated this reveal. Did you tamper with the results? What am I? Mission Impossible? No, Janice, I say, I didn't break into a DNA lab with a USB stick and rewrite your son's chromosomes. She narrows her eyes. You seem defensive. Oh, I'm sorry, would you prefer I be offensive? Meanwhile, Robert's scrolling through his matches and sees a woman named Donna listed as a possible mother of his child. His face goes white. Everyone gasps. Apparently, Donna was Janice's college roommate. Do you see where this is going? Because I didn't. I did not see this turning into a Maury Povich after-school special where my father-in-law might have had a roommate rendezvous that resulted in the birth of my husband. Robert stammers, it was the 80s. Things were confusing. Janice is now holding a butter knife like she's ready to shank someone. And I, sitting there with my coffee and existential crisis, realize we are 3 degrees away from needing a family exorcism. But wait. There's more. Lily, my daughter, asks, Mom, if Aunt Twin is technically my mom, does that make you my aunt? My brain short circuits. I mean, genetically, yes. But emotionally? I'm your mom. She nods, satisfied. Then pauses. So if you and Aunt Twin are the same person, does that mean I was born from a ghost? I have no idea how to answer that, so I offer her a fruit snack and change the subject to Pokemon. Later that night, while cleaning up the disaster that was Family DNA Day, I find my husband staring at his ancestry chart like it betrayed him. I always thought I looked like Dad, he mumbles. You do, I say, wrapping my arms around him. Just, maybe in the emotionally betrayed kind of way. He laughs, but then says, do you think Lily will be okay? Knowing this stuff? I sigh. Honestly? I think she'll be fine. Kids are resilient. She's just happy she got to say ghost mom without getting in trouble. He smiles. But then, something clicks in my brain. If my womb twin's DNA is in my ovaries, and I pass that DNA to Lily, and I still have my own DNA, too, does that mean I could give birth to multiple kids with completely different DNA mothers? Like, one kid could be from Mimi, and another from twin me? Am I an entire family tree in one person? I go back to the geneticist. She confirms it. Technically, she says, you could have children with different biological mothers. All from your own body. I stare at her. Cool, I say. So I'm a walking episode of Jerry Springer, Sci-Fi Edition. She nods sympathetically. Pretty much. And that's when I decide, no more DNA tests. No more family brunches. No more mimosas with Janice. I'm done. Or so I thought. Because 1 week later, I get a message on the DNA site. From a girl named Chloe. Subject line, I think you're my mom. Let me paint the scene for you. I'm in my kitchen, attempting to make banana bread that doesn't taste like spongy regret, when my phone buzzes. It's a notification from the DNA app. I expect it to be more passive-aggressive reminders to explore my roots, but instead, it's a message from a girl named Chloe. The subject line? I think you're my mom. I drop the mixing spoon so fast it ricochets off the counter and flings a banana chunk onto the cat. Let's backtrack. I have one child. One. I'm absolutely sure I've only physically birthed one human. I don't black out during childbirth, and I've never woken up with suspicious hospital bills or a random toddler in my yard. But now, some girl named Chloe, with a profile picture that looks like she just came from a hot yoga cult, says I'm her mom. So I click into her message. Hi, I know this is weird, but I just got my DNA results and you came up as a parent match. I was adopted as a baby, and I've been looking for my biological mother. I hope you don't mind me reaching out. I reread it 5 times. It still says the same thing. Biological mother. I stare at the cat, who is now licking banana off its paw and judging me. Naturally, I do what any emotionally responsible adult would do. I scream into a dish towel for 30 seconds and then pour myself a glass of wine that could tranquilize a horse. Then I reply. Hey, Chloe. Wow, okay. This is surprising. I'd love to hear more about your background. Also, just checking, what year were you born? I hit send and try not to throw up. Chloe replies almost instantly. Born 2001. Adopted at birth. Grew up in Oregon. Likes yoga, oat milk, and true crime podcasts. And get this, her blood type is B+. So is mine. Or, I thought it was. But now I'm wondering, was that my blood or my twins? Because remember, my body is essentially a DNA smoothie. I call the geneticist again. She's starting to answer with, hi again, Chimera Queen. I explain the Chloe situation, and she says, it's highly possible one of your twins' reproductive cells developed into an embryo without your awareness. What do you mean, without my awareness? You think I just stealthed out a baby like a magician? Well, she says, in rare cases, there are cryptic pregnancies. I hang up before she can finish. I am not about to be diagnosed with stealth motherhood. I have enough on my plate already. Including this banana bread, which is now emotionally tainted. But curiosity eats me alive. So I agree to a video call with Chloe. And when her face pops up on screen, I almost pass out. She looks exactly like my daughter Lily, if Lily had a septum piercing and a better skincare routine. Same eyes. Same nose. Even the same eyebrow arch that screams, I don't trust easily, but I do own crystals. We talk for an hour. I tell her everything, about the chimera diagnosis, the twin situation, the DNA roulette wheel that is my existence. She listens, nods, and then says, so, technically, I'm your daughter's half-sister, and you're my mom's twin, who's also my mom? That's when it hits me. I'm two people's mother, genetically, biologically, emotionally, depending on how you look at it. And suddenly, my entire family tree is just me. Like I'm a matryoshka doll of generational trauma. I tell my husband, and he just stares into the void like he's buffering. My daughter overhears and gasps, wait, I have a sister. Then she looks thrilled. Can she braid hair? Because yours is kinda mid. Chloe and Lily start texting. Bonding. Sharing memes. Planning to meet. And me? I spiral. If I have two children from my twin DNA, are there more? Are there others walking around thinking their biological mom is just a profile picture on a website? I open the DNA app again. There are 6 new messages. Each one starts with a version of, hi, I think you might be my biological mother. Y'all. At this point, I either need a geneticist, a publicist, or a Netflix docuseries. Possibly all 3. Because it turns out, my womb wasn't just a home. It was an Airbnb for lost DNA. So, where were we? Oh right, turns out I'm the biological mother to not just one, but potentially a whole gaggle of kids, thanks to my womb moonlighting as a timeshare for my dead twins' DNA. Cool. Totally normal. Nothing screams stable adult like needing a whiteboard to explain your family tree. By now, I've heard from 8 other people, 8, claiming some degree of maternal connection to me through DNA test results. Some are casual like, hey, I think you're my mom. Others are full monologues about being abandoned at a Whole Foods. Okay, I'm exaggerating, but only slightly. Each one has a different vibe. One is a goth barista from Wisconsin who calls me a moth mom. Another is a CrossFit coach who says he always felt like he was meant to be intense. A third is a dental hygienist who insists we should start a podcast called Tooth and Gene. I'm spiraling. I start keeping a spreadsheet. Names, birth dates, blood types, weird vibes. My husband catches me color-coding it like I'm solving a murder. What if I have 100 kids? I whisper, sipping a protein shake in anxiety. You'd be the octomom of science fiction, he replies, deadpan. I don't even laugh. Because now, this entire situation has gone public. See, one of my maybe daughters posts a TikTok titled, My Mom is Her Own Twin, and Maybe My Aunt, with screenshots of our DNA results and a slideshow of our lookalike selfies. Within hours, the video has 1 million views. By the end of the week, it's trending under #ChimeraMama. My phone explodes. The comments are wild, this is some orphan black. Shh. Skull, bro, you're 2 moms? Plot twist, she's the dad too. And my personal favorite, science has gone too far. Burn it all. I get DMs from reporters, a woman who wants me to endorse her fertility candles, and someone claiming to be a time traveler who gets it. Then comes the interview. A morning show producer messages me with an offer: tell your story on national TV. We'll fly you out, first class. Makeup, hotel, everything. I say no. Then they offer mimosas. I say yes. So I fly to New York. Full glam squad. Hair, makeup, lashes so long I could generate wind. I walk onto the set like some kind of celebrity science accident. The host greets me with a huge smile and fake empathy. We are here with Sarah, the woman who, get this, is her own twin and may have birthed an entire extended family without knowing it. Wild, right? I smile like I'm not imploding. They roll the footage. Show my daughter, Chloe. Show baby pics. Show my DNA results with dramatic violins in the background like this is CSI Womb edition. Then the host asks, what's the biggest takeaway from your journey? And I say, well, I used to think I was just a normal mom who liked banana bread and mediocre reality TV. But now I know I'm also a walking science riddle, and kind of a genetic hotel. So that's neat. The audience laughs. I cry a little. Someone claps way too hard. After the show, I walk out to a small crowd. People waving. Someone hands me a baby and says, just in case. I hand it back immediately. We're not doing that today. Eventually, things die down. The attention fades, the TikToks slow, and my inbox stops threatening to combust. But life doesn't go back to normal. Not really. Because now, I have a new extended family. An unplanned, unsolicited, utterly bizarre family. We text. We Zoom. We argue about pineapple on pizza. And weirdly, I kind of love them. It's like fate, or genetics, or chaos, gave me a reminder that biology isn't a straight line. Sometimes it loops. Sometimes it doubles back. Sometimes your womb pulls a prank 30 years in the making. I tuck Lily into bed one night, and she asks, are we ever gonna meet all my siblings? I pause. Maybe one day. But I'll need a really big calendar. And a Costco membership. She laughs. Then she gets serious. I'm glad you're my mom, even if you're also your twin. I hug her so tight she squeaks. And as I turn off the lights, I realize I may be the only person on Earth who can honestly say, I'm not just a mom. I'm a multiverse.